This is Dan Rogers, your host on We the People Town Square, coming to you from the center of the universe, the high plains of Texas, near the headwaters of the Prairie Dog Town Fork of the Red River. Today is January the 17th, and today we're here with Tim Pirtle, who's running for the 108th District Court in Potter County. Tim, welcome.
Well, glad to be here, Dan. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's tell the voters a little bit about Tim Pirtle and why he wants to be the district judge for the 108th Court.
Yes, sir. First of all, I grew up in Potter County. I've lived here basically all of my life. I was born at the old Northwest Texas Hospital on 6th Street. I started school at San Jacinto, so forth and so on. I've been practicing law full-time in Potter County for 33 years. The reason I'm running is because I want to be a judge, and I have been asked numerous times over the last probably 5 to 10 years, people encouraging me to run for a judgeship. The timing wasn't right then for various reasons, from kids being in college out of state to various things. But this time, when Judge Woodburn is retiring, then I thought it's time. I think Judge Woodburn has done a fantastic job. I want to continue to do what he's done for that court, and just decided that it's time to run, and I'm running.
Well, I see your signs all over town all of a sudden, so it looks like you're in it to win it.
We've been working hard. In fact, the other day it was about 4 degrees. I was out knocking doors and putting signs, and I realized that the ground can freeze, and I could only get about 1 out of every 2 signs put in because I couldn't even get it in the ground. But yes, we're working very hard.
Yeah, it's warm. It's supposed to warm up, so we'll be good. What do you see as one of the primary things that you could bring to the 108th Court to improve upon it?
The things I could bring, like I said, Judge Woodburn's done such a good job that I want to carry on. He runs that court efficiently. The old saying, justice delayed is justice denied, is so true. I think people need their day in court. As far as that, getting people their day in court, I think it's important for, criminal defendants to get into court and have their say-so. That court primarily deals with criminal law and family law, which I've practiced in both areas full-time for 33 years. And the family law litigants, whether that be in a divorce or child custody, they need their day in court, and it needs to be soon, because that is a lot of family cases are full of high emotion, bitterness, anger, and I've found in my practice that it always helps to get those folks in and give them their day in court, get some orders in place so we can keep the peace and protect the family, protect children. What I would bring, we've got an overcrowding problem at the Potter County Jail that the taxpayers of Potter County have to fund. We've got a real crisis with the mental health cases in the jail. And I believe we're starting a program, and it's been started, but I think we can do better with that, with the mental health issues. Veterans Court, we've started that. That's such a good program. I want to continue that. What I also bring to the table, that I have a very good relationship with every judge in Potter County and Randall County for that matter. And I believe that each district court in Potter County, I think the judges need to get along. And I've always had a reputation with them as being fair, respectful, and efficient. And that's what I would bring to the table.
For the people out there that are watching this, a lot of people, they've never had any interaction with the courts, and they don't understand how the system works. Could you explain the district court system, the court system in our Potter Randall area, and how that works?
In what way, Dan?
Well, you have county you have JP courts and you have county courts at law and district courts and then Court of Appeals, and then you have the Supreme Court and then the Criminal Court of Appeals.
Yes, sir. District courts handle family law cases, criminal law cases, and civil cases. And when we talk about civil cases, it's a lower percentage of that court's docket. But any lawsuit that involves $200, some say it's $200, some say it's a $500 threshold, but an unlimited higher end of money value on civil cases. They handle all felonies, whereas county courts handle misdemeanors. District judges, such as the 108th, handle all felonies. And the felony is any criminal offense that carries longer than 1 year in the penitentiary. And it involves everything from, capital murders to state jail felonies. The district courts also, and especially the 108th District Court, handles divorces and child custody cases. And that's what they do, if that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people just don't understand, what the JP courts handle, small stuff, evictions, truancy, small claims, up to what, 20,000?
Correct.
And then you have your county courts, which handle things that get appealed from the JP courts and misdemeanors, right?
Yes, sir.
And do they do any family county courts at law?
They do. We have 2 county court at laws in Potter County, and they have a certain percentage of the family law.
And then if it gets appealed from there, it goes to your district court.
No, it would go to the Court of Appeals as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then that would go up to the 7th Court of Appeals.
Correct.
Here. And then the district court takes all the felonies and a lot of family law.
Yes, sir. And some civil tax cases, which I would consider civil. But
insurance.
Correct.
Right? Okay. And then if somebody decides that something wasn't properly done in that court, then it goes to the Court of Appeals.
That's correct.
And if it's a criminal matter, it goes straight to the Criminal Court of Appeals.
First, it would go to the 7th Court of Appeals.
Even if it's criminal?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And then to the Court of Criminal Appeals.
All right. And if it's civil, it goes to the Supreme Court.
It first stops off at the 7th Court as well.
Right. And then goes to the Supreme.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where's it go from there?
That would be about the end. If there's some major constitutional issue, it could go to the federal system, but that's pretty rare.
But there would have to be a federal issue.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope that clarifies how the court system works. Hopefully most of the people that are going to vote for you never end up in the system.
Yes.
And never get to see you.
Correct.
And I guess as a candidate for judge, you really can't have any political opinions publicly, right?
Correct.
So all we can really talk about is the job.
Yes, sir.
Well, is there you're going to have some opponents, and this is an open seat. So I guess why should they choose you over your opponents?
I think mainly, well, let me back up a little bit. All my opponents, and I've said this at get-togethers, I've known my 3 opponents an average of probably 30 years apiece. I don't have anything negative to say about any of them and won't. I'm not about that. But what I bring to the court is, like I said earlier, I have a great relationship with all the judges. My reputation for fairness and honesty, respectfulness, I think stands out. And I think the courts need somebody like me to be in there.
Well, do you have a website?
I do.
What's your web address?
Pirtleforjudge.com.
Pirtleforjudge.com.
Yes, sir.
So there they can go and learn more about you and
Yes, sir.
If they have any questions, they can get a hold of you.
Anytime. I'm easy to find. I'm easy to get a hold of.
Was there anything else you'd like to tell the voters before we wrap it up?
That number one, I would really like your vote. I would be a judge. I wouldn't be an activist judge. I know the law. I practiced for 33 years. I would apply the law fairly, respectfully, efficiently. I've been to get-togethers where they ask, what is probably your number one priority? And I've boiled it down. There's several priorities, but I think the number one issue for me is to protect children, whether that be in a criminal case as a victim or whether that be a child or children in a divorce or a custody case. That's my priority. I would make sure that children, I would do whatever's in their best interest. I'd protect them however and whenever. And that would be my number one priority. And like I said, this court does a lot of family law and a lot of criminal law. And the children would be number one.
Well, they're the future.
They are. And they're just, they didn't ask to be there. They didn't ask for their parents to split up, or they didn't ask for people to fight over them. They didn't ask to be a victim of an offense. So they need to be protected.
They're not the ones that made any bad choices.
That's correct.
The other people that are there did.
That's correct.
I got you. Well, we want to commend you for throwing your hat in the ring and putting yourself out there to serve the public, and good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.